A bare basics, relatively lightweight one today as we ascend the hills for this solo overnight stealth camp on a site of special scientific interest. Now, last summer I had to pass through this area. Now this hill was only 427 feet in altitude, but I was a good 5 to 6 hours into the hike at this point, and I was pretty much done for when I was met with this hill. This steep chalk hill. So I managed to get halfway up it and then I had to drop and sit. The trouble is there was a group of elderly people down the bottom starting to make their way up, and I wasn't in any kind of mood for any interaction, so now I'm being pushed. So I'm sat here reconsidering my life choices and I'm being pushed by this elderly group. So eventually I make it to the top and I find this bench, I take a seat, I sit and I wait, and they didn't even come up. They were just psyching me out. So, fun fact, that slow worm back there, it's not actually that slow, and it's not actually a worm, it's not even a snake, it's a legless lizard. Ah, I don't know how they figured that one out. SSSI, Site of Special Scientific Interest. This area is rich in archaeology from the Mesolithic all the way up to World War II. What once stood on the summit of this hill was an Iron Age hill fort, and the British Army used this hill as a mortar testing range back in World War II. Some unexploded ordnance may remain in fenced off areas, so the danger to walkers is rather low. This mound here is what's called a Bronze Age barrow or Bronze Age burial mound. It was believed that these mounds would protect and preserve the deceased for all eternity. These mounds also acted as a marker or status symbol of the person and family of importance that they represented. So these mounds, there's 3 of them. We have one there, we have another one here, and another one beyond that. Who's to say who's buried under there, but they've got quite a view, which is one of the main reasons we're here today. So I'm just descending the hill to get out of the wind for a little while. I'm hoping it settles down a little later. For now, we're gonna get out of it, have ourselves a coffee. Well, we've camped in worse places. So as I'm sitting here enjoying a coffee, I'm looking around and I'm thinking this is probably the best place to lay out our bivvy later. There's no escaping that wind on top of the hill, but down here we are completely out of the wind. And it's not a bad view either. It's not going to be perfect. We're going to be on the ledge right there. It's a pretty steep drop down, but I'd rather that than being in that wind tunnel up there. So just taking a walk along this trail here right on a ledge, I reckon this is going to be the most ideal place to lay out our bivvy. It appears to be the flattest surface around here. I haven't seen a single person walk down this trail today, and we won't be bedding down till way after dark anyway, so I don't think it will be an issue. We should have quite the view of sunset also. Sunrise, however, we're gonna have to get up. Just exploring the area a little more. Any ideas what this thing is? It seems to be real tucked away in all this brush. Giving it a little circle, but it doesn't appear to be any way in. So we're just sitting here, chilling, winding down the clock, munching on some chili peanuts. It's the last of the combat rations tonight. That's a scary thought. This is what it's all about. It's one of those scenes that makes you think and makes you grateful for all the things that you do have. You can understand why people worship the skies. With views like this, and then when the stars come out, and this is one of those low light pollution areas, so you should get a lot of starshine tonight. That's it for us now. It's just me and the sheep. And once that sun goes down, it gets really chilly. Not for them, but still need the old gloves and hat. Absolutely freezing up here right now. I'm so used to having a fire, I guess, that when I don't, and I'm this exposed to the wind, yeah, it's cold. I dread to think what it's like at the summit up there, but we're about to find out. So it's still pretty windy up here, not as bad as it was this afternoon, but yes, it's not somewhere I'd like to be camping tonight, so definitely gonna be getting out of the wind. Yeah, that's all the time lapse we're gonna do up here. It's cold, and the wind hasn't settled that much down from earlier, so yeah, we're going down to our ledge. A moonless night and completely silent for the most part. Apart from the occasional chatter of the sheep, it's super quiet. So the bare basics, just a sleeping bag and a roll mat. I've got the Snug Pack Sleeper Zero. And interestingly enough, I have this old self-inflating roll mat. Now, you know me, I don't like inflatable roll mats. But I found this one in the cupboard, just stashed away. Haven't used it for maybe couple of years, and it still works. So that's the result. I do have a bivvy bag in my bag just in case it rains, because you never know, those weather people like to mess with you. According to them, it's clear skies throughout the night, clear skies tomorrow, so we'll see. Fingers crossed. I'll see you at sunrise. There are times I wish I didn't cut my fingers off my gloves. This would be one of those times. way I figure it. Sunset is a time for reflection, and sunrise a time for appreciation. Always seems to be the way. Always important to remember that in the almost perfect places, things don't always go perfectly. For example, 11:30 last night, I thought I started recording a time lapse of the night sky. Come midnight, turns out I didn't put it in time lapse and I was just recording darkness for half an hour. Then of course I should have put my sleeping bag in the bivvy bag to begin with, because I could have really used that extra layer of warmth. But that's what these adventures are all about, and that about wraps up this adventure at a site of special scientific interest. If you guys enjoyed this video, please smash that thumbs up, and if you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. Do that, and I'll see you on the next one. Getting proper flashbacks right now of walking this part of the trail. Every single step hurts.